right, welcome in everybody and happy Saturday. I am just Vince and I am joined here on Gaming Tonic by
Devin Gronk. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the podcast. We are also joined here today by our good friend, Mr. Shoria. How's it
What's
going?
up? What's up? It's good. How are you guys?
doing great, man. Glad to have you here.
Good
Awesome.
day.
Glad to have you here
So
again.
glad to be back. Yeah.
Again, yes.
I say we really enjoyed having you on the show last year when we had you on here. We've been looking forward to the opportunity to get you back on here. We missed a couple of weeks, like earlier in the year, a few times, which kind of derailed our ability to get guests on the show quickly. But we're definitely glad you're here. So getting started, we're gonna kick it off with what we usually do every single week. Devin, what have you been up to this week? How you been, man? What have you been doing? What's been going on in the world of content creation for Devin Kronk?
This week, I have been playing a lot of Super Smash Brothers.
Wow.
And that was about it. I played a lot of Smash this week because I really have been enjoying that game. I also last night did some birthday celebrations with our friend I'm Sniper Killer, and that was a doozy.
Nice.
And that's about it. That was my week. It was a pretty quick, easy, simple, not much going on kind of week.
And I saw that you dyed your hair.
I did dye my hair. Yeah, well, I bleached it. It's just bleached.
Hey, I'm here for
Just
it. Right
part of
on.
it.
Just fried it out in the front in case I decide I want to dye it a color later. Any recommendations are appreciated.
I can see all of only the front of it, but it looks good, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Shoria? What have you been up to this week? What's been going on with you in the world of Shoria?
Goodness. Frick, I gotta think back now. We looked at the Monster Hunter Rise demo yesterday
Mhm.
and lost many times to the new monster that got added to it. um,
Nice.
and then I was also a part of the I'm Sniper Killer's birthday party as well, playing some golf with friends. We did some Valorant and Among Us as well. Yeah, other than that, it's been a bit of Final Fantasy 14 and just hanging out and chilling, really.
Right on,
You
man.
fought the Magna Mala.
Yeah, Magnum Alo. Yeah, that's the guy.
How was that? Was he?
It's tough, man. It's tough. You only get like 15 minutes to do it, and he's super tough.
They
Like,
rigged the gear.
oh yeah, 100%. 100%. It's not
Bad
worth the stress.
resistances.
Not worth it.
Man, sounds right to me, dude. And real quick, Shoria, just for anyone who's not familiar with you, real quick. I mean, I know we've had you on the show before, but for any of our newer listeners, newer viewers, anything like that, tell us a little bit about yourself, dude. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you like Twitch? Why do you like streaming, content
Oh
creation?
goodness.
Give us all of it, man.
Sweet, yeah. Well, my name's Shoria. I do a lot of JRPGs, RPGs, a lot of roguelike games. There's quite a few days where I just sit and blab about whatever with my community,
We like
ranging
those.
from food, anime, other video games and stuff, and TV shows, stuff of the old, like Flash cartoons and stuff like that.
Oh,
We're actually
nice.
doing that a bit on yeah, actually there was Mario Day on the
Mhm.
10th there, and we did a bit of that. We were looking at some old Newgrounds cartoons, Flash cartoons that we used to watch back in the day. And yeah, I love content creation. I love meeting new people. I love obviously playing video games and very passionate about the industry and stuff and love talking about it. So that's basically me. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Perfect. Hey, thank you so much.
We love you.
We
Yeah,
do love
love
you.
you guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of love for Shoria around here. So guys, if you haven't checked out his channel already, be sure to go check out Shoria on Twitch. Awesome guy. Shoria_ on Twitter. Please go drop him a follow. Great dude, great content creator. Been a friend of his for a long time. So for me, my week, I mean, y'all know Smite, business as usual. Always Smite stuff going on. I mean, the community has been absolutely incredible. The support's been unreal. And it just, just every single day, more and more amazed that people continue to show up and watch me play. So like, can't help but be grateful for everything that I've gotten. I was able to play some Dark Souls on Friday because I'm trying to throw in at least one day of variety games every week, so that way I don't get burnt out and like end up just hating Smite because that's the only thing I do all day long, all week. Because I've seen that happen to a lot of people. I know friends of mine who've like come up on the scene playing Apex Legends, playing Call of Duty, playing whatever game, League of Legends even, where they just get burnt out on it because it's just too much, especially games that are that competitive. So playing some Dark Souls yesterday was absolutely awesome. I got farther than I've ever gotten in that game, and there were a bunch of people helping me out and giving me suggestions on like things to build and like how to build my character and what items are good and stuff like that. And like, I mean, personally, like I don't want like story spoilers or like how to cheese this boss or anything like that. But like when it comes to hey, don't screw up your character completely so that you're useless for the rest of the game, I'll take that information and I'll be happy with it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
We take that.
Yeah, I want
Heck
that
yeah.
advice. I really do. But yeah, all in all, another great week. Just having some fun. Excited to be back here on the podcast doing this. This is always like a nice chill time for me at the end of the week to just chat with some homies about some video games, talk about some news.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Cool.
So getting right into the news section for this week, though. I mean, we're starting off with Apex Legends released on the Switch on March 9th. Nintendo Switch. Can you guys believe that?
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Shooters on Switch are not it for me, Chief. But hey, I mean, at least it's another avenue for people to get into the game if they weren't able to already.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Probably
much.
runs like
Yeah.
dog, but
I think it's 720p docked, 30 FPS, and 526p handheld. The 520
Sounds
the
familiar,
526 is a guess. I mean, it was in the 500s range for sure.
Right.
Sure in the 500s range. I can't remember the exact number, but definitely less than 7. But the fact that they hit 720p 30 FPS for a battle royale game on Switch impresses me personally.
yeah,
be
that's
honest
not bad
with
at
you.
all.
Like 30 FPS for shooters sucks. I mean, for racing games it sucks, Like
Yeah.
for a Twitch shooter like Apex Legends, I can't imagine it's great. And in our notes for the show in this news section, I put on there, if you download this, turn off crossplay. Because you're gonna be worse than everyone else on any other platform. It doesn't matter what platform they're on. If they're on PlayStation 4, if they're on a computer, if they're on an Xbox Series X, the Switch is the worst platform to play Apex Legends on, but it's there. So
And that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool that it's there. But yeah, turn off crossplay
Do not
for your
crossplay.
own sake.
pretty much. I mean, unless you're
Save
trying to
yourself.
play with friends, But for families that can only afford like one console and they have kids, so they got them a Switch, but somebody wants to play Apex, cool, Like it's like you said, it's another avenue for people to experience the game, and that's neat. I think that the more stuff that comes out on more platforms, the better things are for everybody, As we're starting to finally see some Sony exclusives make their way off of only the Sony platform and release on PC, I'm very, very happy to see things like this happening more.
Yeah, very cool.
Heck
And-
yeah.
And I'm hoping that this opens the door for eventually more EA games to potentially make their way to the Switch. Because the fact that there hasn't been a Dragon Age Origins port to the Switch yet is criminal. It's just criminal.
You are so right. That would
There's
be
so
wonderful.
many ports that are just not there that should be, that would be perfect.
I mean, you can you can play what Knights of the Old Republic, right, on your mobile phone, and you can't play it on the Switch yet.
Yeah, dude.
Touche.
Kinda weird.
Touche.
Kind of weird. The next
Kinda weird.
Yeah, exactly. The next piece of news on our list, though, is TMNT Shredder's Revenge got a reveal trailer this week. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up for PC and consoles. It's coming out for Switch for sure. We're not sure if it's coming out on both like the PS5 and Series X and the PS4 and Xbox One, but I don't see why not. It doesn't look graphically, requiring at all, but it looks
Right.
very fun. And the hand-drawn animations and stuff are awesome that we saw in the
Heck
trailer. So it looks cool. I like side-scrolling beat 'em up games. I mean, do you guys have any interest in something like this?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I would play it. I'd try it. I've never played that game, or I've never played any TMNT games before. So
Really?
yeah, isn't except maybe that
surprising.
one. What was that like? There used to be this one at the arcade next to my house where you could. It was old, man. It was really old, but it was like a side scroller beat 'em up type thing.
I wonder
And
if
it was
Turtles in
you
Time or
fight like a
something.
big rhino at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you know which one I'm talking about, but it was cool. It was all right. Also, Shredder is really sick. I've always thought Shredder was like one of the coolest looking villains ever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. He's just badass. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was designed to be that way. That's
There's nothing like mystical or magical about him. He was just badass. He
He's
just
just a
looked
dude.
menacing.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like what did he have? He had like Wolverine claws and just like
Basically, yeah.
yeah, he was sick.
yeah.
Don't
Go
want to get
Shredder.
caught on the end of that.
I stand Shredder.
Yeah. I mean,
Heck yeah.
personally, this hits me straight in the nostalgia. I mean, I used to play a Marvel game that was a side-scrolling beat 'em up in the arcade. We had an arcade called Nickel Nickel. down here that I used to go to, and you
That's
pay
wonderful.
like nickels for plays, and I spent so many nickels in there just going through the same levels over and over again because I wasn't good enough to beat any of them. And I mean,
Mhm.
this probably isn't a game that I'll buy at full price on release day, but I mean, let me catch it on sale for $5-10 later on. Absolutely,
That'd be
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to take me on a nostalgia trip, I'll take it. You know, I'll be happy
Yes,
with that.
please.
That sounds good to
I
me.
would love to see it on the Switch. The portability of the Switch would be great. You just bring the Switch over to your homie's place and just mash out some Team NT.
Play
Like that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. In the trailer, we saw like all four turtles on the same screen moving around. So I imagine it's 4-player
Yeah,
co-op, side-scrolling, beat 'em up.
definitely.
So
Nice.
yeah, definitely a good time if you want to just hit some nostalgia for anybody from the 90s or late 80s. Square Enix is going to be doing a digital showcase similar to a Nintendo Direct on March 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. When I first heard this news, I was pretty excited because I
Yeah, I
want
think-
Square Enix news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a lot of cool
I-
stuff coming from Square Enix soon. What's up,
I
Devin?
like direct style stuff too, because like especially from like a streamer standpoint, it's really fun to be able to watch those events live with like my community and just get hype with a bunch of people. So when they do
Yes.
that kind of stuff, I think I like it. I don't know. And then you're also finding out about all these new games they're coming out with and different updates they've planned for games that already exist, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with it. I like it. Good move.
So
Yeah, very excited.
here's the bad part. Everything that they have listed that's supposed to be discussed during the direct sounds ultra boring to me. And you guys might have a different opinion on this, and that's why I'm going to ask you. So here's the lineup, okay? The next Life is Strange game. This is probably the most interesting bit of news for me. There's two things on here that I give even a little bit of a care about, and this is one of them. Just because I like games like this choose your own adventure type game, where the
Yeah.
choices that you make have a
Right.
big impact on the story. I'm kind of into that.
Agreed.
And like I'm pretty interested in this. The next one is Outriders is going to be shown there. Any more
Yes.
Outriders news is interesting to me. Cool.
Yes.
You know, I like it. It looks cool. I haven't gotten a chance to play the demo because I had to log into my Square Enix account and I completely forgot what my login was, and I was like, this is taking too much time, and I uninstalled it. So that was as far as I got, but it still looks cool. It's my kind of game. I like games with loot. Bayland Wonderworld, I don't even know what that is.
Never heard of it.
I think they teased it during a Nintendo Direct or something like that last year. I think it's almost like Mario Galaxy. There's like costumes and stuff like that. I think it's like a platformer as well.
Oh, kind of like a Hat in Time.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, Hat in Time.
Like
Yeah.
slightly
Telling me
slightly
Mhm.
smaller, like 3D platformer type game.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, cool, but I mean, this is gonna be. I think it's showing $60 right now when I search the game.
What?
Yeah, $60 for a 3D platformer, not a Nintendo 3D platformer.
Hard
Right.
pass.
Color me skeptical.
I'll wait for
Yeah.
sale.
Marvel's Avengers.
Oh boy.
Woo!
I'm gonna say free to play announcement coming soon, and it's not gonna be enough for it to be a game worth playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a huge burn to anybody that paid $60 for the game, unless they have some kind of a system where it's like, hey, you're gonna get like all the future content that we have included for buying this disaster of a game on launch. You know?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
there's no way that this doesn't burn people who paid for this game when it came out. I mean, would you try this if it was free to play?
I'd try it, but I don't. I'm always down to try some free to play stuff. But from what I've
Right.
heard about this game, wouldn't expect much out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Did you buy
No.
this game, Shoria? I saw you raise your hand a second ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I did buy it.
And
Unfortunately.
You still play it?
No. I've maybe played it twice since I bought it. My PC isn't really the best to run it, and
Oh, gosh.
it's really slow for me, the pacing, in my opinion. So
I'm sure
I
your
haven't even gotten to like any
PC.
end game stuff, right? So it's just story at this rate.
and
I
see,
doubt it's even your PC's problem, honestly.
It might not even be that, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about the terrible optimization issues with this game, on top of the bugs, on top of the lack of interesting things to do in general. But the thing that's weird to me about this game is, like, you mentioned really slow pace, and the game feeling slow, which is
Mhm.
weird to me because it seems like the type of game where it would kind of thrive in an environment where you're playing superheroes, go in and just like blow up everything and
Right.
Yep.
and get it done because you're powerful. And the
Mhm.
fact that it's not that way, at least from all the gameplay I've seen, where you're superheroes running around struggling to fight metal robots, uh, that doesn't make sense in my head.
Right.
It rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't seem like something I would enjoy for very long,
Mhm.
especially not with the abundance of free to play games that there are out there that I could be spending my time playing.
Oh, 100%.
Agreed.
Yeah,
That just drop you into the action right away rather than and I get, like, they want you to play a story, a campaign, and stuff like that, but, like, if I wanna just play with my homies and play as other superheroes, let me do that, Don't force me to play through a campaign for a bit before
yeah.
you can actually access the multiplayer, you know?
I didn't even know you had to do that to get to multiplayer. That's awful.
At least as far as when I first bought the game, that's pretty much the feelings that I had because I don't think there was an option to really play online. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, anyone.
I don't know if anyone else has played it.
Yeah, fair. The only other person would be Hex for me because Hex was talking it up a bit.
Mm,
So I was like, "Ah, sure, I'll play it because I'll have another homie to play with at least," and then we never played it.
yeah.
You could just play Fortnite and be the Avengers and
Hey,
still have a better game.
there you
You
go.
you
Yeah.
actually probably kill people faster in Fortnite as the Avengers than you do in the Avengers game.
You probably yeah.
I mean, all right. The next game on the list, we discussed this in our Game of the Year like awards episode earlier when it first got announced. Just Cause Mobile. I haven't heard anything about this since then.
Yeah, neither have
I
I.
I was
I
hoping
must
to
have
hear
missed
that it
that.
was canceled, and here we have it again. Just Cause
Coming
Mobile.
back.
This is something that they felt deserved to be mentioned in their showcase or whatever. Uh,
Hmm.
cool.
I feel like
Hmm.
Just Cause was a popular game and people liked it, but like, was it really popular enough to warrant giving it a mobile version? Like,
Ye-
I don't. I like Just Cause up until it got weird and had tornadoes and stuff, but like, I like, why mobile? Why?
That's an odd choice. Yeah, why bring that kind of game to mobile? It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
And I mean, to my knowledge, when Just Cause 4 released, people felt whelmed. Not
Yeah.
overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just
Just
whelmed. They felt the most lukewarm that they could possibly feel about a video game. Like this, I feel like this game, if it was gonna come out, it came out like 8 years too late. Like if this had come out
Yeah.
like in between Just Cause 2, which was incredible, and Just
And
Cause 3,
3.
which wasn't as good but was still really good and a lot of fun
Yeah.
in different ways.
right.
If this had come out right then, that would have been like peak Just Cause hype season, and people would have gotten it because it was a Just Cause game. Coming
Yeah.
out after, everybody looks at Square Enix and goes, "You ruined your franchise." And then they're like, "No, we didn't. Here's a mobile
It's a
game."
mobile game.
There you go.
This is what everybody wants.
Of
Like,
course.
The thing about that's sad though is in between Just Cause 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure the best like smartphone was like the iPhone 2. So I don't know if like that
Oh gosh, yeah.
that was pretty long ago, wasn't it?
That was
Like,
ages
yeah,
ago, yeah.
yeah. So I don't even know. I just don't know what to think about this,
would
man.
have been
Like,
pixels.
this just feels like the wrong time. Even if it was a pixel game, people would have eaten that up, dude. I mean,
100%. I would
Did,
have.
did you
Yeah.
see how much people liked Retro City Rampage when that game came out? I don't know if y'all played
It
that
was
at
so
all,
much fun.
but it was like
Yes.
Pixel Grand Theft Auto. You just run around and just like tear up the whole town,
Yeah.
and
Oh
people ate
boy.
it up. It was great. It's great, Like if you could do that in a Just Cause environment, that'd be fantastic. I mean, Roach
Yeah.
Roach in the chat said I just strap rockets to things in Just Cause. Exactly, and that's
That's
what
all
it's
that
all
game's good
about.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Chaos.
and you know that they're going to be out here like, oh hey, pay $2 to strap your rockets to other things that you wouldn't conventionally be able to strap them to. So
I was thinking about that actually. Yeah.
like,
How can
I
they
used to
monetize
use
this?
the grappling hook and attach it to like people and then attach it to the cars and then watch the cars drive by and the people get
Yes.
dragged along. That was my or while you're driving, you hook a car and then hook the ground, and the car like flips over and goes flying.
Yeah,
That
whatever
grappling hook was the best part of that whole game. That was the only reason I liked it.
whatever physics they managed to engineer for Just Cause 3 was fantastic. I mean, it was
Yeah, it was
it was
awesome.
it was perfect, and you know that the mobile game is going to be a far cry away from that. So, it's probably going to suck, and people are going to try their best to forget about it or get really angry that this is what happened to the franchise.
Mhm.
The next thing on the list was new mobile game announcements from Square Enix Montreal. So
What could that possibly be, I wonder?
more mobile games. I mean,
I have a PC. I don't want to play on my phone.
yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. That's just where I'm at with that. I have a PC, my Switch. Well, I use my phone to text and call people and maybe go on Twitter sometimes. That's about it.
Yeah. So I think the last mobile game that they did would have been Hitman Go, and they also did the Hitman Sniper and Lara Croft Go. So they're known for the mobile games. Square Enix Montreal is, and I'm not super excited about this, but
Doesn't it seem like such a weird time to release so many mobile games? Like they know everybody's at home right now, right? Like if I'm at home and I have access to my PC and my consoles, why would I want to play on my phone? Like I don't just go out on my couch, sit down and go, "Ah, yes, my new mobile game." Like I'm good. I don't know. Pass.
Now see, I hate this, okay? And I really, really hate this, but to play devil's advocate in favor of releasing mobile games right now, there are more people casually getting into gaming than ever before.
It's true. Yeah.
And not everybody has the extra income, which I mean they will soon when the stimmy hits, but not everybody has the extra income to go out and drop a couple $100s on a console or a couple $1,000s on a computer, especially if you're building your own. And not everybody has that availability. Every single person in America almost has a cell phone. You know?
It's true. That's true. But that's the only thing it has going for it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will
I
say
can agree though.
I will say that it's easy for us as like people who actually play video games on a regular basis to look at this and go, these games are garbage and we never want to play them. But there are people out there who don't know better, you know? And these are the people who spend $300 every year on FIFA Ultimate Team card packs. And these are the people who will spend, $200 on Farmville every 3 months because they care. Yeah.
Farmville.
Yeah, exactly. And
I haven't heard that in a long time.
And I hate it. Yeah, no kidding. I hate it, but they're out there. And there's a lot of them because they don't have anything else to do and they don't know better. You know? So as much as I hate that mobile games are as hot as normal video games right now, especially coming from a company like Square Enix, it doesn't surprise me that they're going to be, releasing them. But the thing that does surprise me is that they thought it was worth it to announce these in a showcase for gamers, because those casual people who don't care aren't going to be watching this showcase.
No.
Here's the plan, boys.
Not
what you
even
do,
once.
save all the money that you're going to spend on microtransactions in this mobile game and buy a Switch. Do it. That's the plan here. And then you have money for Switch and you have money for extra games. Don't fall for the microtransaction pit in these mobile games. It's not worth it. I assure you. If you are the mobile gamer, I doubt anyone here listening is stuck on mobile, but if you are, think about a console. It's a great investment.
Think about anything else.
Anything else.
Switches should be in stock this year too.
They should be.
Switches should be in stock this year, not like last year once the pandemic actually hit.
Most definitely. I'll say. And the last thing on the list was a look at a few games from Square Enix sister company Taito, which I am not familiar with Taito personally. I haven't played any of their games or anything like that. Haven't even heard of anything that they've developed personally, but I think they're a smaller subsection of Square Enix, might be working on some smaller indie titles, and I feel like over the last few years, the indie titles have been the ones that have impressed me the most. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm more than happy to see what they can do. I think one of the biggest surprises for everybody was Octopath Traveler, and like
Mm,
that, obviously not an indie game. There's a pretty big studio working on those, but before that happened, not a lot of people had heard of the guys that were working on Octopath Traveler. They
Yeah,
had a lot of pedigree from previous games that they'd worked on, but I mean, it was a new studio that was coming up. So I trust Square Enix's vision in this department, and I'm just hoping they're legit console games and not mobile games.
agreed.
And that's how
Don't
I
give
feel
me more
about it.
mobile games. I'll mauled.
interesting.
All mauled. I say
I'll
just after
mauled.
you bleached your hair too, not like this.
Yeah, the part I bleach will just fall out of my head.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So any
Would be
any final opinions from either of you on the Square Enix Direct, if you will? Any thoughts?
Overall, I think it's cool. Like I said, I like directs. I feel like it's a good way of keeping people that are interested in your brand, up to
Yeah.
date on what you're doing,
And
even if it's bad.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's nicer to have like little mini events throughout the year rather than just waiting for like E3 or the Game Awards. It's giving us content, something to look forward to throughout the year rather than just waiting for one big event to be like, here's all the games. And you're like, oh, I can't keep track of every single one of them right now because you just threw like hundreds of games at me. They're going to be coming out within the year or two. So it's
Yeah,
nice to see other companies, kind of take the Nintendo Direct route
Yeah.
and announce stuff throughout the year.
I think it's more popularized right now too, just because of like the
Yeah.
state of the world.
Yeah.
Instead of it's giving us all something to look forward to. Like you said, rather than just
Hmm.
one big E3 thing. It's like we have
Yeah.
these paced out roadmaps almost, which is cool. I like it. What do you think about it, Vince?
I mean, the
Yeah.
the thing I like about this the most is, and the thing I'm the most hopeful for in regards to this is, the coolest thing about Nintendo Directs has been usually when there are directs, there are announcements coming soon, like of games coming soon. They're like
Yeah,
these things are releasing like in the next like 6 months to 2 years. You know?
direct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
today.
Or today,
Yeah.
and I like that a lot. I
Yeah.
hate like the E3 level news where companies are like, all right, it's this show, we have to come out there and show things that are gonna knock people's socks off, and we gotta show things that are not gonna be available for 10 and a half years, Cyberpunk, and like, and
Elder
I
Scrolls 6.
yeah, no kidding. I'm ready to see things that are coming right now. I don't want news that I'm going to have to wait 15 years for. When I go out to the grocery store, I pick the shortest line. I don't pick the longest line. I don't want to wait. I don't want to look at the stuff in my cart knowing that I can't have any of it yet, Like show me what's happening right now or wait, you know? That's
Preach it.
that's where I'm at. So I'm ready for some information on new stuff coming right now. I'm glad that Final Fantasy 16 is not on this list because it's probably going to be at a PlayStation showcase later this year and not come out for another 2 years. So, give me relevant
Good.
information about what's happening right now, and I'm happy. I think it looks
Agreed.
cool. I'm here for it.
It's kind of, yeah.
We're all in agreement then. Very cool. Good
It's
job,
funny how
direct.
it's evolved. Yeah. Usually you'd like to wait, but that's because you were forced to wait back in the day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I don't miss those days.
No,
So-
me either.
Roach said, "Don't throw shade at the garbage can called Cyberpunk." It's a podcast, man, and it's my podcast with Devin Kronk and our guest Shoria. So if we collectively, the three of us, how do I like angle this so that it gets all three of our cameras? I wish I could just stick my arm like across and into your cam. Like the three of us, okay, have determined that we can throw shade at something. The shade will be thrown. It's gonna get really dark in here.
Amen.
So, an article from GameIndustry.biz stated that Loop Hero, which I know Shoria is familiar with this one, a new roguelike deck builder developed by Four Quarters, sold 500,000 copies in its first week.
Yeah, let's go.
Have you played this at all, Devin?
No, I haven't.
Have you even seen it?
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Okay, Shoria, I know you've been playing it, so tell us a little bit about it. Because I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. I haven't purchased it, but I've watched you play it, and I've seen some gameplay. It looks cool.
It's wild. It's like a roguelike deck building, town building mix of a game. It's wild. It's hard. It's difficult. You don't want to like screw yourself over. It's like any roguelike, right? Well, more like a roguelite because there's, certain progression, kind of like Hades, where you eventually get more powerful as you continue playing the game.
I
But
like
it's good.
I love
Yeah.
it. seeing
It's
here.
the music's great. I love the old school like pixelated graphics and stuff, and the music's great. Like I said, and the dialogue, even though it's here and there, it's good. It's full of goodness so far, and it really punishes you if you try to go too far. And I like that. I like to be punished when I'm making a wrong move. So, and all the cards and stuff are different tiles that you place onto the map, and some of them interact differently with each other. So, like for instance, you could have like a place called a grove, which spawns like hellhounds, and then you could place like a little tree area above it, and it synergizes with it. Whereas, like if you get someone's health down to like 25%, it'll actually like entrap them and suck up their blood and kill them. And then eventually that could also spawn a blood golem after, a certain number of hellhounds or something die. And then the blood golem's like super, super powerful and like drops good loot and stuff like that. So it's really neat to play around with the different cards and see how they work with each other. It's pretty addicting, I gotta say.
Did you ever play? Did you ever play a mobile game called? I think it's called Triple Town.
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, so essentially what happens is like you match three, and it pretty much like merges structures together, and they get bigger and more
Mm,
powerful and do different things. And it's like a
okay.
constant merge three city building game. And your city gets
Okay, yeah.
bigger and bigger, And like for some reason, like that's what I thought of when you were like, and you place different things adjacent to each other, and then they like combine to do certain things. And I was just like, that's so brilliant. That's so
Right.
cool. Like just listening to you talk about it, I'm like, man, that sounds so fun. I love it. I
No,
love it.
It's
was
addicting,
I was
seriously.
looking at their web page and scrolling through and looking at the whole game while you were talking about it, and I feel like I was getting pitched. It was kind of
I am the
kind of want to buy
influencer.
it. Yeah, it looks really cool actually.
And it's cheap too. How much is it? Is it like $20? Do we know?
Uh,
Does anybody have a price on it? Hold up. Let me check Steam real quick.
that's okay.
Let's say Shoria.
It's not too expensive, honestly.
It's definitely under $20.
This looks
Yeah.
like a fun game.
$14.99. It's $15. It's not even
It's from
$20.
15?
the wonderful people at Devolver Digital as well, and they create
Hmm.
some really good games.
Yeah, they've been one of my favorite publishers of late, to be honest with you.
Same.
They have a
Same.
knack for finding, I guess, like hidden talent or hidden gems, if you will, that are coming
Mhm.
up on the scene and being like, we like your project and we believe in you and it's going to be awesome. And
There you
they have
go.
supported a lot of awesome developers, and I'm a big fan. So I'm excited to get to try this game eventually. I've got too many games on my plate right now that I have in my backlog that I have to get through. So I'm not getting it yet. I'm still working my way through Monster Train at the moment. I still haven't finished that
Oh.
just yet. And one roguelite at a time. I'm still working through
Yes.
Hades also, so I guess two at a time. But I did finish my runs on Slay the Spire, so I'm feeling accomplished about that.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
Nice.
these are the type of games that like I will sit down and be like, oh, okay, let's play this for 15 minutes, and then it's morning,
Yep.
and I haven't slept yet, and
That's
so
Loop Hero too. Yep.
yeah, so
Just
so
roguelikes. It's
one
a
at a
dangerous
time.
So
hole
much
to
fun.
fall down.
one at a time. And real quick, I just want to say, Roach, thank you so much for the 245 bits. You're incredible, and we appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
brother.
Roach.
You're amazing. Much love, bro.
Beautiful.
Thank you for supporting us and supporting the show. So, according to an article from IGN, Fortnite will be getting its first single-player story event. When Chapter 2 Season 6 launches on March 16th, players will be met with a Zero Crisis finale. It's like supposed to be the end of Agent, whatever his name is, story. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Fortnite.
Yeah, we all care.
Yeah.
But
But it's news, so there you go.
yeah,
For
I
those of you
know.
that do care.
I know none of us play Fortnite. I have no intention of playing Fortnite in the future, but some of my favorite Fortnite related content was the Save the World stuff. Personally, I thought that was
Same.
really cool, and it got squashed so that Fortnite Battle Royale could be what it is today. Jonesy, thank you, Agent Jonesy. Yes, and
What would we have done without that information?
they have such a big budget now for Fortnite. I mean, this is probably going to be cool. I'll hazard a guess that this is gonna be cool in some way or another.
I hope so. I mean, bring back the single player a little bit. That's always
Right.
a cool thing. I remember seeing Save the World. My brother was playing that when it was just save the world, and I thought it was cool. That's what made me want to play Fortnite Battle Royale when it came out. And then they, like you said, they totally threw that into the fire. So maybe we'll see a little resurgence of the single player Fortnite here.
Hey, I'm
That'd be
excited to
cool.
see anything at
Here
this
for
point.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
to me personally, this seems like they're kind of taking a page out of the Overwatch playbook, if you will. They're like, we got
Yeah, I
a
can see
really
that.
cool multiplayer thing here. Let's throw in some single player content, build the lore and the story a little bit more, get the players feeling a little bit more attached to, what the world of Fortnite is about. And I feel like they've done a pretty good job of doing that with their in-game events as of late. But I think this is taking it a step farther, and it's an opportunity to have a closed environment where you can experience a narrative without being impacted by shenanigans of battle royale, and I think that's important. So
I
I'm,
agree.
I'm cautiously optimistic
Definitely.
for this. I think it'll be, like I said, I think it'll be cool, but I don't care. I really could care less.
Yeah.
Same here. It's
Not-
Fortnite.
Not
That's
gonna
how I always
re-download it.
feel.
Not gonna play
Good
it.
for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for the people that
For the
play it,
people that
yeah.
like it, it's gonna be awesome. Also, Olivia, thank you so much for the bit. We appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you for supporting us in
Olivia
the
and
show.
the Unicorn Biddy. We love it.
Love it.
Yeah. So that is the last bit of our news for today, and this is a topic that has been on our list almost
Many
since we
moons.
started the podcast.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting to talk about it, and I've been personally excited to talk about it. And it was one that I wanted to wait until I had someone on here who I was like, this person has experienced some Nintendo and could give us some good input. So what we're talking about today, and Bog said, I pray for the people who play Fortnite and still like it. Same, we all
A
do.
moment of silence for them.
We all do,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But our topic for today is Nintendo and the Nintendo problem. And I think that
Woohoo.
now more than ever, this is relevant. I mean, the last like couple of years of the Switch life cycle have showed us some of the best and worst of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
Yes, sir.
so unbelievable to me that they could succeed so hard in so many areas and fail so hard in just as many areas. With all of their budget and innovation and creativity, they struggle, and it just makes me scratch my head. So starting off with, because there's two parts to this. It is Nintendo, and then it's also the Nintendo problem. So we're gonna start on a good note. So Shoria, what is your favorite Nintendo game? If you had to just throw one out there, any studio, just lay it out. Give us whatever you got. Favorite Nintendo game. If it's
Favorite
too hard to
Nintendo
narrow
game.
down, just give us your top three. I have one, so it's easy for me. But I'll take top
Wow,
three if you can't
just have
narrow it down.
one. I mean, I do. I grew up with Pokemon, so like I really do enjoy Pokemon. Obviously, Mario is very nostalgic to me, and it's kind of cliche to say Zelda. It's you can always fall back on it. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head, strictly from Nintendo. Well, no, I'm a liar. The Xenoblade Chronicles. Those are good games. I like those games a lot. 1 and 2.
Ooh,
That's a good pick.
that's a very good pick.
Yeah.
So it was Mario, Zelda, and Xenoblade is what you're
Yeah,
looking
I'd
at.
say that. Yeah, yeah.
Specifically, which Mario and which Zelda?
Zelda Majora's Mask,
Okay.
and then Mario would have to be Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. I absolutely adored. If they brought that to the Switch, I would buy it immediately.
Hog.
I don't. Is it on the online service? I don't remember.
I have no idea. I don't use the online service very much,
I
to
don't
be
think
honest with you.
I don't think that one is.
That's
Yeah.
a shame.
I'm not 100% though.
That's a winner right there.
Yeah. What about you, Devin? Either favorite Nintendo game ever, or give us your top three.
I probably have a favorite, which is Smash. It's my favorite. I
Fair
love
enough,
Smash
yeah.
so much. That's like consistently been the game I have the most fun with all the time, and it has, and like I'm a huge Nintendo lover in general, so a game that
Yeah.
has all of my beloved characters into one, and I can just kick ass with everybody. It's a win for me. I love it.
I like it.
I love Smash. It's a beautiful game.
Right on.
As much as the internet online services make me want to freak out. Locally, it's wonderful. Online, it's a little worse, but still good.
Right.
Still thumbs up. I like it.
Awesome. Also, Matt, thank you for the follow and welcome in. Good to have you here. So for me, my favorite Nintendo game, hands down, Donkey Kong Country.
Ooh,
That's just
it's
like
a good
it
game.
takes me
Yeah.
it takes me straight back to, I mean, like my childhood and sitting around playing Donkey Kong Country for just hours, being so bad at it and riding on that level with the minecart, and it was just so fun.
Oh yeah.
And like I just had so much enjoyment from that game, and I loved it, man. I really did. I really did. Like I just
The
like the nostalgia just bleeds through in every angle, and I can't help but enjoy it. You know?
Yeah,
the music from the first and second Donkey Kong Country game are some of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah.
who's your favorite character in Donkey Kong Country?
Donkey Kong easily.
Okay,
Play him in
okay.
Smash 2.
Yeah.
You know, I
Donkey
mean
Kong Studio Pog.
that's not something that's like even remotely like a question. Like I
Right.
can't like as someone who played Donkey Kong in like all the Smash games and then on top of that like enjoyed Donkey Kong Country so much. I mean that was the character that I played the most when I was playing through the game. I was just like
Mhm.
I got love for it, you know? There's nothing not to like. There's really
Yeah.
not. He's just such a great character. And like if I had to pick two other games besides Donkey Kong Country, I would say Pokemon Gold and Silver for sure. Like I really enjoyed Pokemon Gold and Silver when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like I just it's a nostalgia thing again, you know? Like just something about going back to my childhood and experiencing that part of Nintendo. You know, before I noticed all of the jank and all of the mess and all of the, you know, lack of pushing things forward in the areas that they needed to push things forward. I mean, being able to enjoy a game like Pokemon Coliseum and not realizing that it was kind of, you know, awful in some ways. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
I really appreciated those times of Nintendo for me. I really did. And I would
I-
have to say Super Smash Brothers 64 would be
That was
the
a
third
good
one.
one.
Yeah.
I liked all the Smashes, dude, except for the Wii one. I didn't like the
I was
Wii
gonna
one.
say even Brawl.
No, yeah, the Wii sucked. But I also didn't play the DS one. I'm not sure how well that one fared.
It was good. It was good actually for like a handheld brawler because there's not many of those on the 3DS, so it actually performed
But
pretty well.
on what Vince said, like I feel like adding on to that, something about Nintendo and their games, I feel like appeal to people who don't see those flaws that you were talking about. You know what I mean? Like it's always better when you're younger with Nintendo, I think. And
Hmm.
then like as you get older, you're like these games are still good, but I feel like the
But
nostalgia kind of makes you feel like they're better than they really are most of the time.
yeah,
I think Nintendo was really like a right place, right time kind of company
yeah,
with all their games. Because I think if like Nintendo popped up today, people probably wouldn't give it the time of day. They'd be like, "Oh, there's this guy who goes through tubes and jumps on Goombas. Oh, very fun. Oh," you know, like I don't, it's because Mario's so classic, I think is why they like him.
Yeah.
It was truly innovative for the time.
Yeah, most definitely. So Roach also said, "Did you guys never play Pikmin?" And personally, I actually never played Pikmin.
I never played Pikmin either.
I played a little bit of the first one. I own the second one, but I never bothered to play it.
And interestingly enough, this is one that I've heard like many people rave about is their love for Pikmin. Like this gets mentioned
Mhm.
on message boards and forums and Reddit and news articles and everywhere else that you can mention things, YouTube comments, all of it. Like people love Pikmin. And I've never tried it. And I've been waiting for a Pikmin to come out on the Switch so that I can pick it up, but I've never gotten an opportunity to play it,
Right.
you know?
Weren't
Eh,
there rumors of a Pikmin, or didn't a new Pikmin come out recently on the Switch? If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe it
Or
was a
they have
port.
plans for one at least? I feel like I heard
Oh,
something about
definitely.
that.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe came out for the Nintendo Switch, but it released at $60,
Absolutely.
and I was not going to pay $60 for a
Yeah.
remaster of a Wii U game.
No,
Yeah,
Um,
no shot.
yeah, there's just no way. So
no chance.
I look forward to trying it eventually. If it's ever $20, like they did the Nintendo Selects or whatever on the 3DS, where they dropped a bunch of games for like a gold edition for $20, I'd be down. I'd be super down.
Yeah.
You
Would
know.
love to see that.
And then Roach also said Pikmin 4 is supposed to be coming out soon. And I think they announced those two alongside of each other during one of the directs. They were like, Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4 is coming. So, this coming soon that you can get if you really are itching for some Pikmin on the Switch because nobody bought a Wii U. And then, in a couple of years, Pikmin 4. And that's cool.
Mine's collecting
I'll
dust.
take that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your least favorite Nintendo game? If you had to pick. Just worst experience from a Nintendo game.
Hang on.
I mean,
Give me a second.
either one of you that have an
Yeah,
answer.
really gonna think.
I'll say you have to think about this? Okay. If you have to think about this, go
I
ahead.
got it.
Yeah. Because like even with like what's your favorite? I have a lot of images flooding through my head of a lot of good games I used to play on the Nintendo. I'm like, damn, I could have said that instead of like Zelda or Mario.
Yeah.
Worst game.
Devin, did you say you had an answer?
No, I'm looking through the shop right now.
Oh, you're looking through games that you've actually like potentially purchased? Okay,
Yep.
so I've got
Throwback.
my least favorite, and we're talking about Nintendo specifically, okay? So because
Yeah.
Bog in the chat mentioned Black Ops on the Wii, and I'm sure that was particularly terrible. But I didn't play it. We're looking for specifically Nintendo games here, and an easy one for me. I don't know if y'all
Oh, I
remember
got
this,
I
but
got it.
Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh yeah.
How
Oh
could you?
yeah. Absolute garbage. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, okay? It was like Mario Party, but with Animal Crossing. And it was terrible. It was like the worst of all of those games that they've ever been. Plus you had to have Amiibos.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's garbage. It's straight up garbage.
My answer kind of bleeds into that. I think the newest Mario Party was absolute dog.
You're correct.
No fun.
The new Mario Party sucked.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
It
Compared
absolutely
to
did.
the old ones, it does not hold a candle up to the new one.
No
at all.
comparison.
You could have just reskinned any of the old Mario parties and it would have been wonderful.
Yeah,
honestly.
dude. I'm kind of a Nintendo slave. Like, I like a lot of Nintendo games and I play a lot of Nintendo games, but that one was just like it was tough.
Awful.
But that Animal Crossing one's probably even worse than that. It was so bad. That's a great answer.
It
No
was
kidding.
particularly bad. Shoria, did you say you had an answer as well?
I do. It's way back on the NES. I just have nightmares thinking about it. It was the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, and there was one level that I could never pass through. Even to this day, it's still super tough. There's you're underwater. Underwater levels always the worst.
Always.
And there's like electric seaweed everywhere, and it was timer based, and you had to find like 8 different bombs throughout the map without dying. And once one of your turtles dies, that's it. No more. And so you like only have like 4 lives technically, and once you're done, you're done. If you dead, you're dead.
Dead equal dead.
You're talking
Dead
about
equal
the
dead.
original Nintendo Entertainment
Yeah.
System, not the.
Yeah,
I
I can
played
go
that
get it right now
Ninja
if you
Turtles
want.
game. I played that
Yes.
game. It was
Yeah.
so hard. It was so
difficult.
hard, like pointlessly hard. Like
It was.
everything was more difficult than it had to be. I never got
100%.
close to finishing it.
Me either.
I mean, I got to play that game. My aunt had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and we would go over to her house on Friday night and hang out over there. And I would get to play that stupid Ninja Turtles game one day a week. Okay, and I played the first level over and over again poorly for months. Okay, because I couldn't beat it because it was so hard, and I was a kid. Like I was so young. It was just not possible. Like for anyone of the age who would be enjoying a game like that to play that game successfully. It was so rough.
I think it's time to pick that game back up again.
I could not disagree more.
I'll go get the NES right now.
I never want to play that game again.
I'll do a let's play on Twitch. Let's go.
I hope you do.
Yeah,
I'll
underwater
watch.
seaweed level.
I will watch, but still, like it's just, yeah. I don't know.
I'm
Eric-
so glad someone else has played it.
Erica in the chat also said, I have a fight to pick with Animal Crossing NH. I think is New Horizons. Pocket Camp is way better with items. But nah, Animal Crossing New Horizons wants to give me a creepy bunny, SMH. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on that as people who have played Animal Crossing? I'm not an Animal Crossing
All right.
connoisseur.
Yeah,
So
no, I can. This is in my ballpark here. Let me see.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is really fun, and I really like it because it's an Animal Crossing game. I enjoy the crafting. I like placing items outside, all that good stuff. But they really did muck it up with like the items are so weird and the events are so lazy. And the worst sin of all when it comes to Animal Crossing New Horizons is that the music is the worst that it has ever been in the whole series. I hate the music in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and it almost ruins it for me. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
oh my gosh.
Damn.
Had to get it all out because I've been angry about that for a long time.
I have never heard you speak so lowly of Animal Crossing.
That's
Yeah.
it's because I've been playing it so long now. I'm starting to realize its flaws. The music is god awful.
Perfect.
The 3 p.m. music is like creepy clown, terrible, like go to bed now, kid type music. Like it's terrible, dude. They're like, why
Le-
are you awake? We're just gonna throw this like crappy rendition of this song that was never finished in so that you just want to go to sleep. I play that game without sound on. That's that's where I'm at.
I gotta check it out at 3 a.m. now. That's my
It's
goal
awful.
tonight.
That sounds terrible.
But I love Animal Crossing. I like playing it. I just don't like listening to
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, as someone who is not interested in Animal Crossing, I'm not suddenly more interested. So it's it
It's a great game. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to shit or dump on the game at all, but
Yeah.
it's maybe add a volume slider, Animal Crossing devs. Just
Yeah.
turn that music slider down so I don't have to hear your terrible tunes anymore.
Or like
Yeah.
a jukebox where you could actually choose your own music wherever
Yeah,
you're
that,
at or something like
well,
that.
you can kind of do that if you place music stuff around your island, but I don't want to take the time to do that when they could just
Nah,
have made their score better.
right. That true enough. Yeah.
So, a quick runner-up before we move on to our next question, real quick, is to the what is your least favorite Nintendo game? My hard runner-up, and this was a very close runner-up, was Ark Survival Evolved, the Nintendo Switch port.
Wait, what? There's a
Wait, that's a
Nintendo
thing?
Switch port for that?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes,
What?
yes, that's correct.
Did they remove it?
I don't know if it got removed, but it happened, and it was disastrous, and it was really, really not great. They, when asked about the frame rate for the Switch port, they said we're aiming for 30 FPS.
Oh no.
So we're giving it our best effort to make it playable without you wanting to throw up when you stare at your screen for too long.
I've seen how that game runs on an Xbox One, and I can't imagine it being anywhere close to as quote good as the Xbox One version. So like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. And I mean, it's we're talking like constant drops below 20 frames per second in graphics that look closer to a PlayStation 3 game, like the early
Woo!
PlayStation 3 game. And it is rough. I mean, we're like, so they have comparison pictures of like beaches, and there's like grass on one and it's just sand on the other. Like the whole area is flat and there's like one bush.
And that's where you get your
shame.
berries from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it is terrible and rough and not deserving of any praise whatsoever. So if somehow they hadn't managed to combine potentially the two worst games in recent history, in my opinion, or at least interesting to me, which is the most recent Mario Party and Animal Crossing together, and into an amalgamation of an Amiibo Mario Party that was a disaster. This would be my worst game. Would be Ark Survival Evolved, the Nintendo Switch port. But the next question is, what do you think is holding Nintendo back from catching up to the other industry giants? You know, because obviously, you know, you look at what PlayStation and Xbox are doing right now, and it's painstakingly clear that both hardware-wise and like infrastructure-wise, they are leagues ahead of Nintendo. You know, I mean, and Nintendo has been kind of successfully doing their own thing for a while now. I'm not saying that, but there's definitely some things they need to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
we'll
have a
field
bit
this one
of
to you
a
first, Devin, because you sound like you got opinions. So
I got a bit of a take on this one. I think that Nintendo's problem is that their whole company is centered around these games and characters that have been around for years and years and years and years. And I feel like we're getting to this point graphically where like you can't really make Mario look any better without it getting weird, you know? Like are we going to get
Right.
like IRL like I think that we're reaching like peak Nintendo graphical ability, I think, you know?
yeah,
Aside from maybe frame rates and bugs, I don't think it looks much better. It'll ever look much better than it is now because those games inherently just like limit themselves because of the style that they are, you know?
yeah,
A-
Right.
And and so for that reason, I don't think, you know, you're ever going to look at Mario and put it side to side with I don't know, the new Miles Morales game and be like, "Wow, Mario looks great here." Like
yeah,
it, it's just that's just Nintendo though. And that's kind of I wouldn't even I think it's holding it back in that aspect, but I also think that's what makes Nintendo Nintendo. It's just they're kind of unique, and I think that's why they've even hung around as long as they have.
yeah. And real quick, I just got to say, Mr. Linguini Man just came in and gave 600 bits in the chat. So thank you
Ooh.
so much, man, for the incredible
Thank
support.
you.
We appreciate you, dude. You're awesome. Mr. Linguini Man's another incredible streamer. Be sure to go check him out. Really great guy. Much love, dude. Thank you so much for that.
Much love.
So, Shorya, did you want to go ahead and throw out your opinion on the matter before I say
Yeah.
anything back?
I would have honestly, I'd have to agree a lot with Kronk. Like they, and it's kind of sad that they've pigeonholed themselves into this style that they're in with their mainline characters. They can't really evolve too much without making it weird, you know.
Yeah,
But as with Nintendo branching out more to more third-party developers, they're going to need better hardware to kind of support that because they're not other developers aren't going to stick with what Mario looks like. They're going to want to do bigger, better, more graphically intensive games. Apex Legends, I guess. Like
yeah,
if we had a better Nintendo Switch console, maybe it could actually be 60 FPS,
Yeah.
720p docked. But it it and like Devin said too, it's no fault of their own. Like we know what Mario looks like, and that's how Mario is going to look until the day we die, probably. Which is okay. You know what you're getting when you get Nintendo games or pick up a Nintendo console. If you're more of the um, playing the Nintendo games specifically, none of the third party stuff. But if they want to, I feel like if Nintendo really wants to grow and catch up to the big two, they need to do something with their console and networking as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a
But
lot of
absolutely.
like hardware
yeah,
internet type stuff when it comes to the
yeah.
Switch.
And it's not like it's anything new either. Like this the all the internet and stuff, the software, like it's been here for ages. Like
Mhm.
like are they just scared or I don't know.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
th- yeah.
and to specifically respond to the idea of Mario can only look so real before it gets kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like that one thing that you said made sense to me. But on the other hand, when I went out and I watched Detective Pikachu, I have never in my whole life wanted more badly to go play a Pokemon game. Like seeing all
Interesting.
the Pokemon looking that real, like and the 3D models that they did for that movie were just incredible. And like seeing them walking around in the real world and stuff like that, like I would absolutely love a Pokemon game that looked that good.
I think
Like,
Pokemon is like definitely one of the exceptions to that. Like Pokemon
True.
can definitely make itself look way cooler and it would be sick. I
well,
agree
Yeah.
there.
and similarly, speaking to and I know that a lot could be said of the same of like the really like cartoony Legend of Zelda games, but I mean take Twilight Princess for instance, and I mean dial
Mm.
those graphics up to like 11.
That would be sick. Yeah.
I mean,
really
you
cool,
you give me
actually.
that like
Yeah.
dark fantasy Legend of Zelda with like Last of Us level graphics, and it's gritty and it's hard. I mean, I would be dying for that. I mean, that would be
really
amazing.
cool.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Like I would be living and breathing Nintendo at that point. But like they won't do it because their entire emphasis is on innovating with their console, and they did innovate with their console and it's cool, but at the same time I feel like they pulled back a little bit too much on making it powerful and making it do what the home console is supposed to do, because it is intended to be both a home and a handheld console. And the dock is nice, but the dock wasn't where it needed to be competitive with other companies, especially on the internet infrastructure side, you know?
I genuinely don't think that they even want to take their games in that direction. Like as cool as it would be, I think they're kind of stuck in their ways about it. I don't know. I could never see them genuinely making a Pokemon game that looks that good. I feel
They
like they're
never
all
will.
like Play-Doh models until the day Pokemon's over, but just like better looking Play-Doh models, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
As
100%.
similarly, like as creepy as it might be to see Mario look realistic, I think that there's a case to be made for really cartoony stuff in just really high definition with the Ratchet and
Yeah.
Clank games. You know what I mean? Because Ratchet and Clank, like the character, the Ratchet, like he doesn't look like wrong.
Real.
He's clearly a cartoon, you know? Like he's clearly a fictional character, but he doesn't look creepy. So being able to see Mario in just like super crisp, like 4K with like beautiful environments, because I mean the art team behind Odyssey absolutely knocked that game out of the park. And if you're telling me that they wouldn't have this incredible freedom to be able to just like blow the doors off, like creatively, with all the physics
Mhm.
stuff they could do and all the art stuff they could do and all the things that they could render on screen at the same time and all the effects that they could do with different Mario moves and stuff like that, that they wouldn't have an absolute field day if their console had the power of the PlayStation 5.
Flowing mustache.
Dude, seriously,
I don't know, man.
every single hair, just his mustache, like actually like bigger than his hat, you know? Like just every
It's
single
just
individual hair has its own physics, you
a
know?
little wave effect going on.
And then when you're
You can see
inside of
the
the water
little-
levels, it's like all the particles are just like moving through his mustache all perfectly. It'll be beautiful.
You see
I'd
little
want it.
pizza stains or like spaghetti sauce in his mustache.
Oh,
That's how
like-
definite it could be.
It's got a little stainage going on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
oh, old Mario.
And I mean,
Yeah.
we definitely heard some good arguments, like from both you guys and the chat, about like, you know, what's holding them back and why they shouldn't do what what they could do with Mario and things like that. And it's easy to be like, oh yeah, Pokemon, you know, that's an obvious choice. But I feel like there's so many obvious choices. You know, I mean,
Well, Fire Emblem would be really cool. They
Oh.
cranked up graphics.
bro,
That would be insane
Yeah.
too.
I hadn't even thought
It's
about
still
that.
even now. Even now, it still looks really great.
Yeah, but even
From where it came
better.
from. Oh yeah,
Talk-
like
How Vince was saying we crank up Twilight Princess, do that to a
that'd be
Fire
really
Emblem. That would be dope.
pin it up to like XCOM status, you know, that level
Yeah.
of graphic and detail.
Like that would be really cool.
Oh man.
I would absolutely love it. I'd be 100% there for it. I think there's many Nintendo IPs that would be absolutely brilliant if they had more power. And that's the thing that I'm talking about though, is it's not just about, you know, hey, will Mario look weird in higher definition? It's would Mario look incredible in 4K at 60 FPS, because that's what most TVs can display nowadays.
He would.
hmm
Sure.
He would, yeah.
Even if you just took a direct port of Mario Odyssey and put it in 4K at 60 FPS, it would look incredible. I mean,
Heck yeah.
I don't know if any of you have like dabbled with emulators or anything like that, and like hopefully people don't come after me, but I got to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on my 4K TV running off of my computer on an emulator at like 60 FPS in 4K, and it was
Wow.
beautiful. I mean, it pops, man. It really does. Like, and that's what they could have, you know? And like trying to play it on the Switch afterwards, like I legit couldn't finish the game on my Switch because it
You
was
were
just
like,
like you
couldn't
just
compare.
you run through an area and it drops down to like 20 FPS and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. you know, and you're trying to aim your bow with your little tiny Joy-Cons and they're terrible. And like it's not the same experience. It's just not, you know?
I
Like,
agree.
Yeah, because it doesn't even have to be like graphically updated to like Doom Eternal levels. It's just more performance,
oh
which
yeah.
could be unreal. Yeah.
Actually, I do want Mario to, instead of jumping on Goombas, to rip out their eye and put it in their throat, and then watch the
Yes.
Goomba explode. Preferably, I think that would
Yes,
be
actually, that'd be cool.
yeah, to hard metal music. Exactly, Devin. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
don't
think we're
know.
on.
Did you guys ever play that Flash game? It was like Koopa's Revenge or something like that, and you played as a Koopa running around the Mushroom Kingdom with a shotgun, and it was like
Holy-
terribly violent. And you
Played that
just,
on Newgrounds. Yeah.
yeah, you just ran around like shooting everything in the Mario Kingdom, and it just like just blew up in a pile of gore. Yeah, that game was ridiculous, but apparently that's the future for Nintendo. We figured it out.
Let's go.
So, I mean, one thing that people have been asking for a long time in many discussion boards and Reddit and stuff like that and all over the internet is Pokemon Breath of the Wild. I mean, this is something I know I've asked for personally on multiple occasions on the show, and we're kind of getting it finally. You know,
Mhm.
do you think that this is a step in the right direction for Pokemon? We'll start with you, Shoria.
Yes, 100%. I welcome a lot of change to the Pokemon formula. For me, I'm tired of the old get your starter, go battle these gyms, and then battle the Elite Four. Like, it's great that you know that that's what you're getting for a Pokemon game, but I want more. I want them to branch out from that. Like, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So one of my favorite games, one of my favorite series. It's Pokemon, but different. It's a different gameplay aspect, and I love it.
Yeah,
So seeing a Pokemon Arceus or Arceus, I am over the moon excited for Pokemon once again. It's revitalized my love for Pokemon.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, what about you, Devin?
I agree. I think, I mean, we've talked about this many times before. It's always we've been looking to see a change in the Pokemon formula. So now that we're finally getting it, I'm stoked. Also, it seems to be set in some like more feudal time period, which I think is pretty interesting,
Yeah,
and I'm eager to see how like the for once I'm actually interested in like the lore and plot of a Pokemon game. So if that's telling you something, I don't know what is, but I think it'll be cool.
yeah,
Just like free roaming around, sneaking up on Pokemon and catching them and stuff. It'll be different.
yeah.
I'm excited to get more information about it, more concrete stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely same. I mean, that's kind of my biggest fear at this point is that they showed us just enough to make us think that it's something different, you know, and then people
Yeah,
are gonna actually start to get their hands on it, and they're like, oh, it's pretty much the same. You can just run around a bit more, you know, and it doesn't
yeah.
look like that right now. But if it goes that way, I'm gonna be very disappointed, and I think a lot of other people will too.
I'm worried that it's gonna be like boring. As much freedom or whatever it might give you, like there I just hope it has some type of objective to it, you know? That's not just, hey, run around and catch some Pokemon and then maybe battle a few times and then you're done with the game kind of thing, like which I guess is every other Pokemon game. But I don't know. I'd like I in a Pokemon game, maybe I'm just brainwashed to it because every other mainline Pokemon game is this way, but I kind of like the linearity of it, like the story, like point me in this direction, I'll catch these Pokemon here and then we do the thing. I
Yeah,
want that, but now that we have these open world elements, it's like, okay, maybe I won't find this same Pokemon on this route every single time. Like maybe there's a
Mhm.
little bit of diversity here.
and sure, yeah, one thing that you mentioned was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and you were talking about like how good the Pokemon series has been when it diverted away from other, like from the main formula. And
Mhm.
a lot of people have a lot of love for Pokemon Snap, and that's definitely not one that I'm crazy about personally because I don't care about taking pictures of Pokemon. But
Same. Yeah.
one that really like hit me hard was Pokemon Conquest. I don't know if you guys played that back in the day, but it
Yeah.
was
The
yeah, I mean pretty much like kind of bridging the gap between Pokemon and Fire Emblem almost. Um,
Yes.
you seem like you're a big fan, Shoria.
I loved it so much. It was so cool.
Yeah, and
Played the heck out of that.
I think that this is where Nintendo is at their best, and when Pokemon is at its best, is when people are given the creative freedom to take these IPs and do something extra with them. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. And something I have to mention because Grint said it was want to buy a Pokemon that is designed after a wallet, and you have to buy it in game as a microtransaction.
Oh my
And don't give them any
Yes.
ideas because
They're listening.
they will take that idea and they will
I
make
would
it
do it.
happen.
What
Yeah.
type would it be? It'd be like
What
normal fire type.
it would be the equivalent of having all 5 pieces of Exodia. Obviously, it would be the most
Ooh.
powerful Pokemon ever and have no weakness, no
First-
weakness
you're right.
whatsoever. Just once you had it, you won.
Both all types and no types at the same time.
Yeah, no weaknesses and strong against everything. Steel / psychic. Perfect. There
I
we go.
dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But I think that this game specifically has made me the most optimistic that I've been for the future of Pokemon, probably in my whole life. Honestly,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the only other times I've been this excited about a Pokemon game were about remasters, and that makes me sad. You know,
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
like because Sword and Shield were there and they were cool, but they weren't. They didn't change enough. The same thing
Yeah.
with Sun and Moon. I didn't care about that, you know. And all the games before that, it was like I wasn't like in tune enough with gaming to appreciate the fact that, oh hey, they've been releasing the same exact thing for years now,
Yeah.
and it's been getting worse. Like honestly, they've been giving quality of life improvements, and not much else has been improving, and that
Yeah.
sucks.
I agree. Optimistic is a good way to put it. I am optimistic for this. I still don't know enough, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some more about this game in the upcoming year.
Mhm.
So there have been some rumors, and we discussed this a little bit before the show, about an upgraded Switch circling around. Do you think that we're going to see some improvements to specifically the Wi-Fi chip? Because obviously Nintendo's internet struggles have been a hotly contested thing across many communities. This like console cycle for them, and a console that can finally compete with the other competitors graphically. How likely do you think that is? We'll start with you on this one, Devin. How do you feel about this?
Oh, okay. As much as I would like a Wi-Fi chip, I really hope that they do that because as a person who plays a lot of Smash online, I can tell you that the whole online thing is awful. I personally use a LAN adapter, so I don't think I really struggle with that too much. But playing against other people that I know for a fact are not on a LAN cable can be a little frustrating sometimes. I've never really experienced any other online Switch games too much to really have a firm stance on that. But as far as other major improvements, like graphically, I don't see. I can see the Switch improving, but I don't think it'll ever keep up with the PS5 or a Series X. No shot. As much as I'd like it to. I
Yeah,
want to see that Mario in 4K 60 FPS, but odds are it probably won't happen for a little bit. Maybe in our lifetime at some point.
yeah. What about you, Shoria? What do you think about this?
Um. Yeah. Kind of to touch on what Devin said for online connectivity. I've mostly played like Monster Hunter
Hmm.
and Splatoon 2, and never really came across any issues. Whereas like Smash, like Devin said, is really spotty. Even I don't have a LAN adapter, but I don't see too many problems when I'm using it. But I'm sure people with really bad connection or just sitting too far away from their modem definitely wrecks the battle. That's for sure. Um,
Hamster.
yeah, yeah. I would love, I would love to see a quote unquote pro switch or whatever. I
Yeah,
would honestly, first and foremost, fix your Joy Cons, please. That's all I want right
There we
now
go.
is the
That's good.
Joy Cons to be fixed.
That's a good take right there. I didn't even
Yeah,
think about
like my left Joy-Con is dragging so much, and it makes me not want to play in handheld mode because I know my character's just going to start drifting off somewhere and like, oh, where did you go, buddy?
have that.
But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see an upgraded Switch. As to if they'll catch up to PS5 and Xbox. Never, as long as they're stuck on portable and docking, they'll stay with that till the next console um, comes out. I'd say it'd be cool though to have like 4K HD uh, Mario mustache. Like I'm for that right now. I want that in
got
my
me,
life now.
man. I'm now I'm thinking about
I'm
Mario and
stuck on it. I'm
Yeah.
stuck on it, man.
gotta get up for 1 second, boys. I'll be listening though.
Yeah, no worries.
No
All good.
worries.
Like, and for me to touch on a couple of things that both of you guys said, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a situation similar to the Xbox One S, I think it was called, the slim one, where it
Mm,
wasn't displaying in true 4K, but it could output in 4K.
right.
So like I wouldn't be surprised to see the Nintendo Switch come with that kind of a functionality, and like get actually Netflix and YouTube and like all the video services, like that, and be able to display those in true 4K as well. And games that aren't too graphically intensive that can go up to 4K get pushed to 4K. So like on the PlayStation 4, I think Resogun was one of the first games to be able to do 4K on the PlayStation
Right.
4, and that was something that they touted pretty heavily when the PlayStation 4 released, because that was a launch title. And it's not a very
Mhm.
graphically intensive game. It's basically Galaga with a lot of particle effects that you play
Right.
in a circle, or like around a cylinder,
Like
and
a
it's an awesome
Geometry
game.
Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, beautiful game, but not straining the console by any means. So I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised for them to be like, oh yeah, you can play Slay the Spire in 4K on your Switch,
Ooh.
and it'll look clean and crisp, but who cares,
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see them go that route. I definitely don't think that we're going to be seeing Breath of the Wild in 4K, but if we do, that'd be fantastic. I think we
That'd be really
should.
cool.
I don't think we will. I think the
Yeah.
internet situation needs to be addressed. Like they need to
Yeah.
have a better Wi-Fi chip in there, and if they don't have a better Wi-Fi chip in there, they need to have an Ethernet port on the back so that you don't have to buy an adapter, because
It's
that's
so
ignorant.
stupid.
Definitely. It's surprising that the dock doesn't have something like that already. It's frustrating. When I wanted to, I honestly didn't even know you needed an adapter initially. I like
Yeah.
popped that open to look for the Ethernet slot, and lo and behold, it wasn't there. So
Same.
yeah,
Yeah.
They've always been a fan of accessorizing everything since like
yeah, they have, huh? That's a good
since
point.
like the Game Boy Color. Link cables, or an attachment to your GameCube to play, Game Boy Color games and such, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Donkey
remember
Kong Jungle Beat bongo drums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the side extension for the DS that gave you
Yes.
like a joystick or whatever?
Oh
That
gosh.
was crucial for Monster Hunter on portable.
Dang. That
Yeah.
that was yeah, you're right. They definitely are a fan of their accessories.
Yeah.
Gosh. I actually vividly remember that, and now I'm sad. And something that Mimosa Mommy in the chat said is, I've gone through 6 pairs of Joy Cons, and that's, yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's faulty design.
They're like what, $60 American? They're almost $100 up here in Canada. Like I'm not going to buy an extra 2 Joy-Cons if one's just going to die immediately.
This isn't like some localized issue either. Like this has consistently been a problem with the Joy-Cons since the beginning of the Joy-Cons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For almost everybody I know who has a Switch has had problems with Joy-Cons before.
Yeah. It's rough. It's awful, and it needs to be fixed. If there isn't some kind of a like clear and obvious statement about improvements made specifically to the joysticks on the new controller, no, there's
Yeah.
no way.
No deal.
I mean, there's just no way I can afford to do that, because by the time that my Switch has ended its life cycle, I will have spent the cost of another Switch
And
on
I
Mhm.
Joy-Cons.
on the topic of accessories again, like these things, these pro controllers here,
Yeah,
that's almost like a necessity. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at a lot of people now just have pros too because your remotes suck.
Yeah.
yeah. So, do you think that Nintendo will finally bring GameCube to the Virtual Console whenever they do their new stuff, or at any point?
I would like to think so. I mean, they what's that? They have that whole thing going on right now. where you can play all those retro games or whatnot. I think they're holding out on us on purpose. They
They
want
are.
it to happen.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just
Nintendo's. Yeah.
yeah, they're waiting for the right moment, I think.
What's the right moment?
Good question. I don't know.
Now.
Now, yeah, whenever the team deems it fit, I suppose. Just like every
Exactly.
other problem they have.
I mean, like we know that they have the technology, you know what I mean? We know that it's possible. It's just they got to do it. I mean, and I feel like for me personally, they're never going to make a Beautiful Joe remake or, sequel as much as I need them to make one. So, I have to accept the fact that it's not going to happen and hope to God that it comes on the virtual console. And at this point, I'm like, the only right time is as soon as frickin' possible because
Man,
Now,
I
please.
don't have a GameCube and I miss that game and I want to play it again.
you're
That
hitting me in the nostalgia, dude. I love that game.
I wanna
Everybody
know
who's
if
played that
they'll
game loved that game.
Yeah.
I wanna know if they'll bring Melee into it, and if Melee might be able to make some type of, like, online resurgence, because I know there's a lot of drama with that and their whole thing going on.
I think that the hardcore crowd who's currently playing Melee and has been playing Melee on servers that are better than Nintendo's official Super Smash Brothers server, um,
Yeah.
like I think that they will stay playing Melee on their servers that they've been using for the last however many years that they've been using them. But I think that it's going to be a big resurgence for Melee in the casual scene for
Yeah.
people who don't want to play Ultimate or don't like it.
Definitely.
I'll probably still play Ultimate, but it would be
Same.
cool to be able to get my hands on Melee again.
Just to
But
like revisit that, right?
But I mean, to me, I look at that the same as I look at like all of the CS:GO people who are like, I want CS:GO, I don't want Valorant.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
That feels the same to me. You know, I
Damn.
I think that there's gonna be people who played Melee back in the day who they bought Ultimate because of the hype and they were like, this isn't the Smash I remember. And then they're gonna see, all the characters load up and the intro screen and all that stuff. And I think that Melee is gonna just hit people right in the feels if they bring that back too. And I would not be surprised if they didn't bring it back simply because of what it would do to the Ultimate community.
Yeah, it
Honestly.
would
Yeah.
because anyone who's been playing Smash for a while, Melee is like that's the game. That was their pinnacle of Smash.
Yeah.
Arguably probably just the pinnacle of Smash, whether you like it or not. But yeah, I wanna I didn't get to experience that. So I wanna see it. I wanna try it.
I
I
mean,
would like to see it.
I was watching a montage this morning instead of sleeping of Super Smash Brothers Melee, and it was a guy playing Falcon, Captain Falcon, against like one of the best, if not the best, Marth Melee player, like hands down.
Oh, nice.
And I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like he was clearly in disadvantage, had more percent on him, was off stage, and you see him come back and just land this combo string of stuff that doesn't look like it should be possible to pull off in any Super Smash Brothers game, and I'm watching the movement and it's like I'm seeing him do things that you can't do in Ultimate because the movement doesn't allow for it because they've adjusted the game and made rules different now, like, and designed it to be easier and more casual.
It's insane. If you watch like a professional Ultimate match side by side with a professional Melee match, with Ultimate, it's like, okay, I could see how somebody could get to that point. This doesn't look superhuman or anything. But then you watch Melee and you're like, this looks like a computer making perfect movement. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Old Melee professional matches were insane.
Mm-hmm.
So cool looking.
And I mean, even going back to gosh, I'm trying to think. I think that it was actually in Melee, either yesterday or the day before. They have like this like break all the targets thing
Yep.
in Super Smash Brothers. I'm pretty sure that was in Melee and not 64. And the world record was actually just broken for the fastest clear on that on Game and Watch. And the way that they had done it originally was using a task bot, which is a bot that is programmed to perform perfect inputs, like frame perfect inputs to the millisecond to go on a specific trajectory and do a certain thing. And the TASBot had done it in 2.64 seconds. The previous strat before that was, I think, 2.86 or 2.84 was the previous world record. And this guy did exactly the TASBot strategy after practicing for he said he had to do it for, I think, like 2 or 3 months of practicing this one strat.
Wow.
And he did it in 2.72 seconds and got the new world record this year on Melee. And I mean, Melee came out how long ago?
Back when I was in like junior high.
That's another cool thing about Melee. That's why it had me thinking when the whole GameCube Virtual Console thing. Like, I know that there's still a huge underground type scene for Melee, and I don't know if it would do it any favors if they remade it, or not remade it, but brought it back and then maybe added some type of online feature. But
That'd be really cool.
I mean, they got their whole little setup thing going on that Nintendo's not too happy about. But that's a whole other can of bananas we can open up another time.
Can of banana. Okay.
Yeah. Here it is. It's a Reddit post, and it's from let's see, just to make sure, Kenshiro the Kid, just to give proper credit here, but Crypt Analyst achieved a new world record of 2.70 on the Break the Targets level, and it broke a 4-way tie of 2.82 that was first achieved 12 years ago.
That's unreal.
Yeah, and the TaskBot did it in 2.62, and he completed the task strat, and that's crazy. It's honestly insane to even think about, personal opinion, but I think that realistically, the best thing that Nintendo can do for their fans is bring back GameCube. You know, I mean, there's such a soft spot, and even from a marketing standpoint, I mean, every single person who had a GameCube back in the day, if you say you can play your GameCube games on the new Switch or even on the current Switch, people will buy the Switch. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and the next question is, do you think that there's a world in which they only have it for the new one?
Oh, don't say that. No. I would hate that.
Same.
No, don't put that into the universe, Vince.
It's out there. And now that we've said the podcast, it might happen, dude.
Because you two have a funny way of calling stuff on your podcast that actually happen. So,
I mean,
Simpsons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to think about it in that way, but at the same time, I feel like it could happen.
Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy it now. Shoot.
And see, and that's why right there, it's that thought.
I'm part of the problem, boys.
I am the problem.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they know.
You guys would too, right? So,
I mean, if they don't have an announcement to go
Joe.
with it I mean, okay, Beautiful Joe. If they say Beautiful Joe, if they specifically mention Beautiful Joe in the launch announcement, I will pre-order it. But short of that, I mean, I'm gonna need to see an Ethernet port on the back of it and new controllers before I buy anything else.
Yes, goals first and foremost.
But if they say Beautiful Joe, they could make the controllers worse and take off the internet, and I would buy it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right, that's literally all it would take. You know, I would love to play that game again, but I just hope that they don't go that route, and when they bring out the GameCube Virtual Console, that they do the right thing with it. They put it on the OG Switch, and they put it on the new Switch, whatever that's going to be, because I mean, it's kind of inevitable. They released a new 3DS. They didn't bother with the Wii U because it was dead anyways. They had already given up on it and started working on the Switch. For all intents and purposes, the Switch is the Wii U 2.0. Honestly, I mean, they straight up took the tablet and made it better. They made it fully portable. Honestly.
What? Yeah. One thing I hope if they do come out with a Nintendo Switch Pro, one thing I hope they don't repeat like they did with the new Nintendo 3DS. Funny that you mentioned that. They had like a couple games that you could only play on the new 3DS is what it was called. I really hope that they don't try and repeat that action. if they do make a new Switch.
I
'Cause they've done it before, so I don't know.
it wouldn't surprise me, but I feel like the most likely option is that third parties are going to do that before Nintendo does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that nowadays more than ever, it's easier to scale up games to like newer hardware and still have it like be decent on the older hardware. That's why we're still seeing some games release on the PS4 Pro and stuff like that, and release on multiple consoles, is because you can just put it in 1080p and that's fine, and it's way less graphically intensive, to just have it be 1080p 30 fps and run on the old console, and that's okay. But I think that realistically the third party developer is going to be like, we just want the more power and we don't care.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Monster Hunter one of the ones that was new 3DS only near the end of the life cycle?
They said that there'd be better performance with the new Nintendo 3DS, specifically with that Monster Hunter. It wasn't
Which one was
tied directly to it.
Ultimate?
For you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But from what I gathered, you wanted to play
Mhm.
it on the new 3DS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did, yeah.
Because it had the stick as well.
Yeah,
that
it did have the stick as
the
well.
original 3DS didn't have on it. So you would have had to
Yeah,
have gotten the
correct.
attachment. But I'm like, I definitely see a world where third party developers release games only for the newer one, and not for the original, Switch.
As much as it just sounds terrible and is a terrible idea, who knows? It
Little stick right
happened
there.
before.
Yeah.
Happen again. Yeah, the little nipple.
The little nipple.
Stop. I hated that thing.
It worked really well though,
It-
honestly.
I mean, for what it was intended to be, yeah. It
Yeah.
definitely wasn't great, but it was certainly serviceable, and it definitely didn't wear out as fast as a Joy-Con. So
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take that little tiny weird 3DS new 3DS nipple over the Joy-Cons any day. Apparently, Bog in the chat said, speaking of that, Soldier Boy is making a new line of bootleg consoles and unlicensed games. What?
That's some game.
Again?
Where did
Again?
give
Wait,
a source for that? That's crazy. What?
Did he already do that? You said
He
again,
made a
Shoria?
console. Yeah, he made a console like I think 2 years ago.
Hold up. Hold
I'm
up.
pretty sure.
Hold up. I'm googling as Soldier Boy console. What?
Just gonna get some water real quick.
He said you. Oh, good God. Okay. It's unclear as to when exactly the system will release or even how much it will cost, but according to rumblings, Soldier Boy has tried to request help from none other than Tony Hawk for a new video game idea.
And Tony Hawk was like, "Yeah, let's do this. This is a great idea, Soldier Boy. Thank you."
In
We'll be doing
2008,
it again.
in 2018, Soldier Boy announced the Soldier Game, a fresh lineup of console and handheld devices.
Yep.
I mean, so apparently he was just rebranding emulated systems, is what it says here. But good God, the Soldier Game.
The Soldier Game. I'm buying day one, baby. Is it out already?
That was in 2018, so I imagine it's out by now, but I didn't even realize that was
yeah.
the thing. That article came from The Brag, by the way, just to cite the source on that quick Google search. He said, you gonna get a cease and desist. Please stop.
Love it.
Yeah, correct. So do you guys think that we're ever gonna see a proper achievement system from Nintendo, and do you think it needs one? We'll start with you on this one, Shoria.
For Nintendo loving to be different and always, kind of behind the two big Microsoft and Sony, even like Steam, PC, even I don't think they will. I would like to, and I'm sure a lot of trophy hunters and achievement people, completionists would love to see a trophy system on the Nintendo Switch, which I think for them would be great to have, in my opinion. I don't know what it would be called though.
Would be called. I have nothing. Never mind.
Ninchievements. I don't know.
Achievements.
I don't know.
Nintendos.
I'm gonna have to think more on the word for the achievement system. To be honest with you, I don't have it. But so you don't think they're going to though?
I just with how their track record so far, I don't think they will.
What
I
about
would
you?
love it if they did though.
What about you, Devin? How you feel about it?
I think it would be cool, but I don't think they will either. maybe the coolest thing I could see them doing with that is if they did add one, name aside, what they could do is right now on the Switch Online store, when you buy games, you get coins that are equivalent to like a cent, I think. I think it would
Mhm.
be pretty sick if you got achievements and they would just give you like one of those points every time you got an achievement. Or like if you beat the game, you get like maybe 5 of those points.
Hmm.
That would be sick. In a perfect world, I think that would be really cool. But I realistically, I don't think they'll add it because, like Shoria said, they like to be different, and if they do it, it's gonna be something really weird and different for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually had the exact same idea as you did. And I was curious if you were gonna say something along those lines, but I was legit like on the exact same wavelength. Like if you could earn the gold coins like just while playing games, that'd be fantastic. I
'Cause
think
that's
that'd
the only
be
thing they use it for is like buying stuff to get the points. Like I feel like if they actually used it for something else, that'd be great.
Oh, real quick, Bog in the chat said my first idea was moments. Nintendo moments.
Ooh.
Sick. I like that.
That's yeah.
I vibe with that. I think that'd
Gold
actually be excellent. What's up?
get gold coins for your moments.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. And I mean, the one reason that I think that we could get away with them actually giving us like Nintendo eShop currency for achievements, I think the like one like gold coin per achievement is probably the sweet spot. That's about what we would expect. Um, and I think that that works because right now, like a big thing in the industry is like competing for screen space. You know, like the choice between somebody loading up their Nintendo Switch on their TV or watching Netflix or playing Fortnite or loading up their PlayStation, like
Yeah.
companies aren't competing just to make the most money. It's also to have the most screen time. It's the difference between when your friends and family come over and you say let's play Mario Party, which you're never going to play because it's terrible, or they say let's play Wii Sports because everybody wanted to play Wii Sports because it was awesome. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like,
Yep.
and nowadays people come over, they're like, hey, let's play Fortnite. Hey, let's boot up Beat Saber because virtual reality is that new hotness right now. And there's so much stuff that you have to compete with in the living room between your TV and YouTube and Twitch streams and gaming systems and free to play games and people looking at their phones. I mean, there's so many screens just between your face and your television. I mean, phone, tablet, laptop, TV. There's like there's so many opportunities for distractions. They're competing for your attention. So I
Yeah.
think that it might actually be viable enough for them to be like, okay, if they do one gold coin per achievement, that might be a small enough amount where they could take the hit on loss and give people that compulsive desire to hunt down those achievements because of the value they could get out of them.
And that would be like a revolutionary idea too. Like I think if maybe not even Nintendo, but if any developer was or not developer, but any company was to do that, like I think we'd see a lot of other people following suit with that same formula. I think that's a great idea. I've always thought like even with like gamer score or trophies, I always thought that would be a nifty little idea to like actually have some sort of reward for getting these achievements rather than hey, you did that. Like now everyone can see it, I guess. But yeah, I totally agree with you.
Awesome. So, and this isn't a question that we had written down, but just to close things out here, if you could change one thing about Nintendo right now, console, games, anything like that, what would it be? Devin.
Uh, anything with a Nintendo console?
Anything Nintendo at all. Complete freedom to change only one thing about Nintendo. What would it be?
I'm gonna be selfish. I'm gonna be real selfish here. If I could change one thing about Nintendo, it would be their online services because I play a lot of Smash and your online services suck. Even when I'm plugged in and my friends are plugged in, we still can't play together very effectively, and I don't like that. So please change it. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, most
Smiley
definitely.
face.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Smiley face.
Couldn't agree more. Sure,
Yeah.
you got an answer ready?
Yeah. Uh it's gonna be a two-parter. Fix your Dane Joy-Cons, please, and
That too.
not force me to pay up the wazoo for a new pair if I want them. And give
Well,
me give me that GameCube on the Virtual Console, please, or Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 64, anything. Just give
Hmm.
me more. The library is huge. Xbox has back to the OG Xbox and 360 in their whole backwards compatibility library. Like this isn't new. This isn't. I assume it's not that difficult. I'm not sure, but make it happen. Like,
Got it, Nintendo.
give me some
Got it.
good games. I don't care. I love looking back at old games and playing old games. So make it happen, please.
and I mean,
I have a
not.
question.
Go ahead. What's
Mm.
up?
Follow-up question for Shoria. How would you rather them fix the Joy-Con problem entirely, or more realistically, I think what could be a possibility is maybe drop the Joy-Con price down to like how low would we be talking? Like what would be a good price for you? An
I,
ex- like $20 maybe?
$20 Canadian, I'd take it.
Well, hang on.
That'd
Yeah,
be like
that's like
$15 for you guys.
that's like $2 here in freedom dollars. Okay,
Yeah.
so
What about what would be $20 for you? Like what was that like 25, 30?
Yeah, around there. Yeah, 25 roughly.
Would that be an acceptable price for you?
If I got like a year or two out of it, maybe. But I would rather, in a perfect world, I'd rather just them fix the problem altogether. You know, I've had, well, no, no. If I could get 3 years out of it, I would pay $25.
It's a good deal on Joy-Cons, the Joy-Con subscription service.
I still have
There you go.
the DualShock 4 that came with my PlayStation 4,
Ooh.
and it works.
Mine has a
Wow.
little bit of drift, but it still works. Like it's not
Yeah.
drift. I can still play with that thing.
Even if
Yeah.
there's a little bit of drift on your PS4 remote, I mean, you'd be able to load up Animal Crossing and your character wouldn't run all the way across the frickin' map.
Mine's annoying. It makes my character look at the ground. My camera always tilts at the ground. I hate it.
Aw.
Dude.
That's
But-
funny.
That's even worse.
Had my that controller I got as a promotion gift in middle school. So when I was in 8th grade, so like 2 years ago. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Probably like 7 or 8 years ago I've had that thing. Like it's an
Wow.
old remote.
Man, like,
Maybe more.
and the other thing that you mentioned about like not having to just buy new remotes, Shoria, or on top of that, in the event that you can get them warranted for some reason, they're just gone for like 20 days.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
Just play with
How
the
am I supposed
touchscreen. Just search up new games in the store and buy them over and over again. That's the most fun you get to have with your Switch from now on until you get your remotes back. And you're going to get them back, and they're going to be the same remotes, and they just popped off the Joy-Con or the little joystick and put a new one on there, and they're like, it's good to go. And it's not fixed. It's still garbage. Yeah. I have to say, like, for all of the complaints that I have with the like internet connection, and with the Joy-Cons breaking, and with the fact that Beautiful Joe is not available on my Switch yet, and the fact that Pokemon has refused to innovate until this new Pokemon that's finally coming out, the one thing that I think is legitimately inexcusable that I have been waiting to bring up until the very end is the fact that you have to be on your smartphone to use voice chat. In 2021, you have to pull up your smartphone to voice chat on your Nintendo Switch, and it's inexcusable. It's completely inexcusable.
Man, that was a sick forward there. Teach me your combos, please. On your
Get
phone.
good scrub. LOL.
How
You
are they
suck.
getting away with it? How?
Yo,
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that that should make sense. There's no way that there shouldn't be Reddit posts outraged every single day about the fact that you still have to use a smartphone app to talk with people on your Switch. My smartphone, I'm certain, is less powerful than my Switch, and that's what they want me to use to talk to people, is a less powerful device than the one that I already paid for.
companion app for the Switch is so weird too. Like
It's
because depending on like you go into the app and then there's like you pick what game you want to play or like whatever you're playing. Like I'll use Animal Crossing for example. Like you can click Animal Crossing and then there's like all these weird features that could very easily be on the Switch that they just make me open my phone, type in my password, click on this app, wait for the app to load, click Animal Crossing, wait for the Animal Crossing part of that app to load, and then do all the stuff that I can do in there. When I could have just done it in the game. Like, why? It's not cool.
why.
Cause Nintendo.
Like,
That's why.
Nintendo. Yeah.
yeah. And to touch point on that, actually, like modernize it a little bit more. Why do I have to use a dinky little headphone, like getting old school headphones to listen to my game on the Switch or if it's docked? I want to use my Bluetooth or wireless headset to listen to to play games with my Switch if I don't want to have the monitor blaring, you know? Like, I don't want to go grab 10-year-old headphones to play with my Switch with the sound so I can just hear it and so the missus doesn't hear it, you know? Like,
I mean,
what the heck?
to take it even farther, I can plug a headset into my PlayStation remote. It's not even a
Yeah.
console, and that
Yeah.
does it. I can talk to people on my watch.
Yeah.
Like, are you
100%.
kidding me, Nintendo? How? Like, how in the
I-
world has this not been updated yet?
Talk to people on this thing. On this little thing.
Oh, your headphone. Yeah.
Oh my word.
It's ridiculous. It must be some type of little chip. Just figure it out.
It can't be that hard. It can't be.
Give me a little like adapter that comes with a third joystick to slap on the side that will let me voice chat on my Switch.
You're gonna
Dongles.
have to plug something into that headphone jack that isn't actually headphones. It's just gonna be like a little box. Like that would be so Nintendo of Nintendo.
It would be all the dongles, all the accessories.
The new portable Bluetooth dongle, and it's like a desktop size attachment that plugs into the bottom of your Switch to allow you to hook up Bluetooth. It's like twice the size of your Switch undocked.
Yeah, it's just a whole
God.
other like, strip that's like the length of the Switch itself, and then it's got like a whole other series of ports on the top that you'll never use. Terrible.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, that's what I would expect at this point.
Your extra set of Joy-Cons on the top. That's what it is. It's a little rail for your
Aw,
and a Bluetooth receiver.
Oh, there's the answer right
hate
there. Grinth said introducing Nintendo Pods, only $200.
no.
That's it. We
And-
nailed it.
And with your Nintendo Pods comes a copy of Beautiful Joe on the Virtual Console.
While playing Virtual Joe, you can get Nintendo moments that get you Nintendo coins that make things in the Nintendo shop cheaper.
There we
We've
go.
come full circle with our ideas.
There
Now,
we
if
go.
one of those things doesn't come true, then we wouldn't be gaming Tonic. So keep your ear to the ground. One of those things will happen eventually.
Well, this has been exactly as much fun of an episode as I expected it to be honest. I mean, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you both here. Shoria, thank you so much for joining us. And just so that anybody who can find you, or anybody who wants to find you, can find you.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, Shoria?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/Shoria. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I usually do JRPGs, RPGs, and roguelikes, a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 as well. So if you like that, come hang out. Some days we do just chatting for 4 hours. So if you just want to blab at me, let's go for it. Twitter, I'm Shoria_. And TikTok Shoria. Anywhere that it's Shoria, SHORYIA, it's usually me. It's nobody else. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Perfect.
Just look for his beautiful face in the profile picture.
Yeah, you'll
got
know
it,
it's him
buddy.
if you're immediately attracted.
Exactly.
Oh
That's how I can tell. Thank you so much, and thank you for spelling that out too for the people who are listening. Devin, for anyone who wants to find you and more of your content, man, where can we find you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/DevinCronk. That's DevinCronk, Devin Cronk. Also on Twitter, same thing, Devin Cronk with 2 Ks. Also on my Twitter, you can find a link in my bio that has links to all of my other stuff. So if you really wanna see what I'm all about, go to my Twitter bio, click that link. You can see everything. And side note for listeners, I'll also have everything on the YouTube channel. All of our links will be in the description below.
Awesome.
How about you, Vince? Where can we find you?
Well, for anybody who wants to find me and more of my content, follow the channel right here, twitch.tv/justvince. This is where we host our live show that is now going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific time every week. We're moving it a little bit earlier because that's easier for people's schedule. Also, feel free to hit up my Twitter at Vince0094 and my TikTok at TwitchJustVince and the YouTube. Search for Just Vince and look for the gold and black and white icon. That should be mine. And also, just to wrap up the show and take care of some business here, for anybody who wants to be on the show, if you are a content creator, if you are an interesting human being, if you have a webcam and a working mic and we will not hear fans in the background, we want you to be on the show. All you got to do is apply. The link is right here. There it is. For anyone who's live and you want to be on the show, there it is in the chat right there for you. Also, we will have links on our YouTube page. So if you are a listener online, go check out the YouTube channel. If you want to be on the show, we want to have you on here. Also, we do want emails from you guys. Send us emails. Send us your thoughts on the show. Send us your thoughts on anything that we've talked about or anything that we're discussing or anything like that. We want to hear you guys' thoughts. Tell us nice things. Tell us horrible things. And we will be sure to let Devin Cronk read all of the horrible things because I don't want to hear it. And then also, lastly, here's the socials link right there. Feel free to go there. Take a look at our Twitters. Real quick, Devin, if you can just throw Shorya's in there too for anybody who wants to follow him on Twitter. And that is going to be, I make content on Pornhub. Do I qualify? Absolutely.
Dude,
I would
content.
Hell yeah.
I would hazard to say that you are exactly who we want to have on the show because you would be bringing in a whole new audience. I'm assuming with your incredible body or the lack thereof. But we are going to be looking for. What's up?
So whatever kind of body he has, it's like you said, new audience. Bring them in. Let's go.
If it's good enough for the hub, it's good enough for us. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and give somebody else a raid here, and that is going to be it for the rest of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who listens and all the support you guys give us. We appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and that is going to be it for Gaming Tonic. We are signing off.
Adios.